Hello, hello, everybody. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our amazing topic, how to heal your relationship with money. So I'm Nikki, this is Abram, and we have a very special, incredible millionaire hippie Jedi guest with us today, Mr. Justin Verrengia, and he's going to be sharing his money healing wisdom with you. So I'm very excited about this. I actually, when I first met Justin, he was actually a huge catalyst for us because we went to this event and saw him on stage, and we were like, wait, this guy's a hippie, and like the founder of this company is a hippie, and we're hippies, like we can do this, you know? And, you know, he's someone who sees the world in a different way. I mean, Justin, I don't know if you've ever felt like an outcast, but I know I have. I felt like an outcast in this society thinking how I think. And so I really related to him, and I just kind of knew. It's like when you see somebody that you have some common threads with that has gone and taken quantum leaps to where you want to go, there's like this download that you get like, wow, I actually finally know that I can do this. I can stop hoping and longing, and I know I can actually do this. So, you know, here we are like a year and a half later, and here's the fruits of our labor. Like we've created a 6-figure income. Income disclaimer below, results not typical.
We're going to talk about money a lot today.
We're going to talk about money a lot today. Yeah.
So, like, any time that we actually say a word, us or Justin, just
Yes.
refer to the income disclosure at the bottom of this page.
Exactly.
I mean, the topic is healing your relationship with
Yes.
money.
Yep.
And Justin's done some really cool stuff with it. So when he talks, just know, like, income disclaimer.
Yeah, and it's actually really funny because right before this hangout started, we had some people that were like, the way I read the title, I thought it was about how to heal your relationship with money, like how to heal your relationship using money. Oh my gosh, it's Kwanye!
Kwanye!
Oh my goodness, she is adorable. Kwanye will also share her money wisdom.
Exactly.
And so where was I? I got distracted by the beautiful baby.
Oh, just talking about cool shit. Oh, people get confused.
So like, but I thought it was interesting. So they thought it was about like how to use money to like heal your intimate relationships, and there was this joke running about it. And I actually thought it was actually really interesting because I think that money and relationships are very, very much connected and related. So maybe Justin will talk about that because I know you have a story about maybe how money or lack of money or struggle with money affected your relationship and how you healed that, and maybe how those two things were connected. And I know for me, it's like I was attracting a lot of like kind of abusive relationships until I decided to change my relationship with money, and then it's like, you know, the inner showed up on the outer. So anyway, without further delay, and Abram, I don't know, is there anything else that you want to say as we bring Justin out? Anything that you want to say about him and
how much we love and appreciate Justin?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think the one thing that Justin really gave us permission to do when we were just starting out on our path and really starting to heal our relationship with money, you know, using this vehicle. I'm gonna have to mute that.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. You know, using this vehicle, it's like one of the things that you can do to heal your relationship with money is actually start having it and really allow it to come through your life. It's almost like a cleansing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that you're gonna realize just sitting here, hanging out with us, and hearing from Justin is that you really can be yourself and have money, right? You don't have to become somebody or something that you're not, and you really stepping into being you is actually the catalyst for you having a lot of money. So I know we're going to start talking about all sorts of different stuff,
Yeah.
and Justin's going to be the catalyst for that. So, brother, if you want to come out and share with people some of like your background and your story, because you have a really unique one, and I'd love to hear, and our audience would love to hear you tell it, and
your vision. I want to hear like your vision as far as like your vision for the planet, you know, having abundance and prosperity. Hello, everybody. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
hello, everyone. Welcome.
Awesome.
Is it me?
How to heal.
Yeah, I think I hear playing somewhere.
So
I'm
I'm
just a
Nikki,
bad
this
boy.
is Abram, and we have a very special. Why is the beginning repeating? Did we time warp?
Okay, we're good. We're solid
Yeah,
now.
We're just in the twilight zone. You can hear me loud and clear, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure. Kwan say hi to everyone. She just woke up from a nap, and she's teething. She's 6 months old, and you're looking at one of my big reasons why I just love being a parent. It's like another chapter of life, and life is like continuous flow of energy. Money is a flow of energy, and the way everything is just interconnected with one another, the way that people are connected with one another, the way that consciousness connects everyone, this like matrix of web of just fruit and there's just something magical. I find it very hard to not appreciate the miracle of life, just being able to look at a tree and just be like, holy shit, there's something magical about what I'm looking at. Being able to look at life and creation and look at a child and, you know, your child's innocence. There's just, you know, to be able to look at your hand and see how unique, and that every fingerprint on every single finger is completely different and unique than the billions of other people. It's just a lot. I believe, you know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and I believe that we're infinite beings. Meaning, even when you pass on from this physical lifetime, I believe you still exist. My thoughts are, you know, very different than, I would say, the norm of what they share on TV and things of this nature, but I decided to embrace who I am and to make it cool, because the truth is I like it because I believe it's cool. So I believe that spiritual people are special and that, you know, it's the cool thing to do. You know what I mean? So why not embrace who we truly are, knowledge other people, you know what I mean? The Matrix woke me up a lot. When I was growing up, I was studying Kung Fu and Tai Chi at the time, and I just started to really grasp life, you know, and just the way that it is. And you could almost compare life to a game of chess. You have 64 squares, and basically you're playing your opponent, and you want to stay basically at least a few moves ahead of them so that you can control the game. But here's the key. Once you understand how the pieces move, meaning once you understand how life is really played and how we manifest and co-create what we're unconsciously thinking about, once you understand the basics and the concepts like law of attraction, the basic understandings of life, it becomes very easy to attract money, because you realize you don't have to have a negative annotation associated with money. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Hollywood will teach us that the rich people are usually evil, you know, and you can look at Dr. Evil and all these people with money that are evil characters, when the truth is money is kind of like a gun. You know what I mean? And meaning money is not necessarily good or bad. A gun is not necessarily, or a weapon, good or bad. It depends what you use it for. For example, a woman can use, let's say, a nunchuck. We'll keep it ninja, you know, today. You know, in self-defense, and she can save her life or her children or her family's life because she had the weapon and she was a good person using it for a righteous cause. And then the same way a criminal can use a weapon and do something terrible, but that doesn't mean that the gun is bad. It's the person behind it. And I look at money the same way, because a lot of people out there, you know, they have this belief that money is the root of all evil, which is, you know, trick knowledge. It's really the love of money is the root of all evil, meaning there's nothing wrong with loving money. You know what I mean? What does money really provide us? I just want you to think about this. First thing that comes to my mind: shelter, resources, freedom, ultimately, and not just freedom for us, but freedom as far as helping other people, being able to give back, being able to do amazing things for charities. Like my wife released a book, and she decided, I'm going to give 100% to the charities, to the All Children's Hospital. She's like, I can do that now. Isn't that why we originally got started? And I said, absolutely. So if it wasn't for that, I mean, we wouldn't be able to donate money or profits if we weren't creating and manifesting it in abundance. I think one of the keys is understanding that money can be abundant, and it can be, you can create and associate and connect a positive annotation to money and having freedom, versus thinking of it and then just shrinking inside saying, how am I going to pay those bills? But I remember what that was like, because I remember 2 years ago, before this little Padawan was even born, I was struggling, trying to come up with $450 to pay my rent in Costa Rica, and I lived in a 300 square foot studio apartment. And I was reading Think and Grow Rich. Like, that's one of the books, you know, it's like the Bible of, you know, being able to manifest really what you want, like basic law of attraction before the law of attraction became the law of attraction, but the science behind getting it. which I am just intrigued about. You know, how the unconscious really works and how to really mastermind with other people who already have the lifestyle that you want in your life. Basically, I realized that the fastest shortcut to success is getting your energy around them, because I realized everything is energy, right? And there's positive, you know, and there's negative, of course. There's yang and yin energy. And I say yang because I spent 13 months in China, and they don't say yang, just so you guys know.
Thanks for letting us know, Justin.
Just FYI,
Yes.
that's not how
But you know what I mean? You can't get two negative magnets like together. They repel each other, right? Basically, with negative and positive consciousness, one will turn to the other, whatever is more dominant and what's strong. And a love-light consciousness is definitely stronger than a fear-based consciousness. But I realize you surround yourself around people who are in the flow of life, achieving great things like what we do at our events. You leave and you're a totally transformed person. The same reason Tony Robbins can, you know, host an event and thousands of people show up there, and just like clockwork, every single one of them are downloading breakthroughs because of the energy they're surrounding themselves around. And I want you to think about that. Like, Tony does these events, and he gives like a money back guarantee. If you're not like 100% satisfied with what goes on, nobody asks for their money back. Why is that? Kuan Yin, do you want to know why that is? Because energy is everything. E equals MC squared. We learned this in school. I know there's a lot of trick knowledge in school too, but I believe that was Einstein's equation, and it just basically means everything is energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It just is what it is, and I feel that's just what we are. So basically, surround yourselves around those that are living in the flow, and if you're lucky enough for them to coach you and show you what it is that they're doing, you can plug in and create drastic transformations in your life. But I also want you to know, it's at the same time everything is about the money, because money is a form of energy. But at the same time, it's not about energy, and it's not about money. At the same time, it is about energy. My bad, because energy is everything. But I feel it's about love, and it's about being able to give back. It's being able to, you know, live your dream. I believe that God puts your dream in your heart for a divine reason, and I believe it's your purpose to see to it that you create those dreams, because there's no coming back to this reality in this physical body. If you manifest and reincarnate here at a later time in a different body, it's a different stage of life. I feel like we have these life lessons, and everything has purpose. I believe like nothing is random, right? You're watching this hangout right now because you were destined, you were ordained to get this information because somebody really cares about you, and they want to share this, life-changing, revolutionary information with you. And what do you think, Kuan Yin? Kuan Yin can't talk yet, but she can talk at the same time. The other day, we were, in the bed, and she goes to my wife, "Hey," and we're like, "Did she just say hey?"
Oh my God!
Talking already. Just an amazing young spirit, you know what I mean? So to be able to bring my daughter into this world, knowing she don't have to go through all because I don't like talking so much about the struggle, but the truth is most of my life was a lot of struggle. I didn't have an easy life. I was a freedompreneur at an early age. Most of my adult life I've been into, owning my own business. I had a real estate appraisal company. I started joining network marketing companies. And Dee is all. Do you want to say hello to everyone?
Yes.
Don't Dee look amazing?
Okay, so I just wanted to take a quick shower and do my hair. Remember, I told you I needed to do my hair. So I'll put Kuan Yin on his lap and take a run for it. So how are you guys?
You look great, Dee. You look fantastic.
Thank you. Well, he's Italian, so I was able to hear a lot of what he, was talking about. I really appreciate the fact of you explaining more about the title, because I feel like, some people can read that and get a completely wrong message, and all money really allows you to do is just do more of what you really want to do. Like, if you want to surprise your spouse with 1,000 rose petals, you don't have to think of it with dismay, thinking to yourself like, oh, I could never do that in a beautiful beach, private and secluded in, a beautiful country like Costa Rica. You just have to think to yourself, like, I want to do whatever I can for them. And I think that's the power of money and, and creating it and letting it flow to you and letting it also flow away from you as well. That's such a key.
Yeah, letting go of money is a big lesson we all have to learn, because we're all conditioned to, like, treat money like, really respect money. We're taught to respect money because money doesn't grow on trees. We're taught when we're growing up. But to be able to, like, create it and to, like, let it go is, I think, the most powerful lesson of money, because it does come back in its own creative way. You never know how it's going to come back, but to pay it forward and to be able to do those sorts of things, there's something magical about that. And I believe a reason why a lot of people don't have money, they haven't demonstrated to the universe, they haven't demonstrated to their higher self that they respect it enough to understand it, to use it for good, to use it to create. They have a fear consciousness, most people unconsciously, regarding that subject. So if we can just educate people on the fact that money is just an energy, and if you choose to, associate positive energy to it, positive things will happen the more you think about it, and the more abundantly it will flow, and the more you'll learn to let it go, just to watch it come back, 100 times fold. So it's actually a very unique concept.
That's awesome, Justin. Yeah.
I just had a really quick thing, and then I know you have something that you wanted to ask Justin. Well, it's like, when you're talking about, like, the flow of money coming in and flow of money coming out, it's like, have you ever tried to hold your poop for too long? Like, it just gets, like, painful, uncomfortable.
If you have to hold in going to the bathroom.
You could get sick, and I think that happens to a lot of people when it comes to money. It's like, especially when you know that you've got bills to pay, you've got other things, maybe obligations or responsibilities that you need to put your money towards. Sometimes, like, you really do find yourself holding on tight,
like, tightening all of your muscles in your body, and just like,
yeah,
I'm holding on to it for dear life. Like, it's the last one, it's the last dollar that's going to come into my bank account.
Yeah, and I think yeah. One of the best things to do in that situation is just go to the bathroom and, like, take care of business, right? It's like instant relief. So, like, what if now the time, like, hanging out here right now, bathing in, like, this abundant energy, it's like, what if now is the time to really start letting go? Really start letting go and just let it flow, baby. What did you want to say? I just love talking about poop sometimes, and it's just the perfect metaphor. So, just wanted to jump in there and share the poop love.
I think I do think that there is, like, a boy's mind that thinks a little bit different sometimes than a woman's mind. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that, but I do get it, and it's like also releasing your poopy stuff around money, like letting that go too. So it's like, I guess there's so many things that came to me, like so many downloads as you were speaking, Justin, and one of the things that when you talk about letting go of money, I think it's also like how, like, I'm listening to you, and I think some people are going, well, how do I actually change that? Like, if I have that fear mindset, and it's like, for example, when you're, like, letting go of money, and you're maybe it's to a bill. So it's like, well, how are you releasing that money? If you're releasing the money while being all tight and tense, that's not going to create that flow for it to come back to you. But you can start transforming, going, wow, thank you for this universe. Thank you for allowing me the gift of having a cell phone so that I can communicate with anybody in the world, and you pay that bill and you thank the service that that company is providing you. Like, I know that's something that I've started to do that helped me shift stuff. And
I think it's just funny that it started raining when we started talking about letting go.
It did. It started, like, thunderstorming and raining. It's really cool. And also when Dee was speaking, I'm so glad that she came on, because I actually had this flash come to me about how the two of you went to Thailand, and it was right before Kuan Yin came into the world, and it's like so many couples are not able to do that. It's like usually in society, when you have a baby, it's like, we got to get all the basic stuff. It's all, their parents are spending, sometimes going into debt to buy, like, the basic kind of like the baby arrival kit, And so just for you guys to be able to go to Thailand, I imagine that was amazing for your relationship, to be able to spend that quality time and do it like, hey, I've traveled the whole hippie broke hippie style, where, you're like hitchhiking, waiting for a bus. And can you just like for a moment, like, paint us a picture of what it was like to travel and do that trip from
Totally. More than glad to do so. Awesome. The Thailand experience, it wasn't that long ago. Was it like 6 months ago or so?
Yeah.
I was 8 months pregnant.
Okay,
so
my wife was...
7 months.
my wife was 8 months pregnant, and we decided, because it was like 7.5, but we were there for like 2 weeks, so it turned into 8 months. It was the latest we can possibly go and still get on a plane, pretty much. So we decided to do this like 16-day or so trip to visit our friend Jabril, who lives, or he don't live just there. He actually, wherever he rests his hat is his home, as crazy as that sounds. But he's been like living abroad for like the last like 5 years. The Unstoppable family, we also work with, like, they've been traveling for the last 9 years, and they just set up shop, and wherever they are is like their home. And I think that the universe is cool like that. I believe that, like, the Earth isn't such a big place now that we have like airplanes and ways of transportation, you know, to get places. But it was a dream of mine because I've always been influenced by Buddhist culture, and if you didn't know, like, about 95% of the local Thai population are practicing Buddhists. And if you didn't know, my daughter's name is Kuan Yin. That's a female Buddha name. She's basically the Buddha of compassion and mercy. And you've maybe seen her depicted before with like 8 arms. And the reason she's depicted with so many arms is because she's serving so many people. She decided to pass up Buddhahood to stay on the earth to help people. So that's the legend of Kuan Yin. So now you know a little back history of my daughter. But to be able to visit those temples, some of the most amazing artwork I've ever seen, you know, being ordained and blessed by the monks. I actually got these bracelets I've been wearing for the past 8 months since I went to Thailand. My wife got them, and they also gave the little ones for the baby, but I don't know where I misplaced them. They'll probably appear somewhere, but I just think it's so cool because I love the culture. I love spirituality. You know, there's a different energy when you're in a Buddhist culture versus, let's say, a Chinese.
The shoes,
what shoes?
So paramount.
Oh, yeah,
In
yeah.
the United States, we have no respect for the ground that we walk on. And over there, every ground, once you walk inside, is sacred.
I don't know if you can overhear her because the mic's further, but she is saying how they respect the ground they walk on. So they take their shoes off not only in the temples. You often take your shoes off outside restaurants. I would go to get massages like every day because it was always my dream, because ever since learning about the emperor when I was younger studying Kung Fu, like, the emperor gets massages every day. I want massages every day. And I was able to do that in Thailand, but we take our shoes off before we step into the massage parlor. We went to the Phi Islands where they shot the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, some of the most, hypnotic and beautiful water I've ever seen. And inside the resort, no matter where you walked, you take your shoes off. So it's just a different way of appreciation. I also felt like it was so safe to be there. Even though a lot of them are living in what we consider poverty, they were happy and peaceful, which also went to show me you don't need to have a lot of money to be happy. It's an interesting connection there, but I've lived in China, I've lived in these places, I've lived in Colombia where there's a lot of poverty, and they're not necessarily unhappy people. They're happy, but that doesn't mean they're fulfilled. You know what I mean? Now, if you're one of the monks that we visited, one of the Buddhist monasteries, or one of the nuns, they're happy and they don't want attachment to anything because they're focusing 100% on the spiritual. But we're living in an earthly realm, and if you have big dreams to be able to want to change the world, and Nikki, you asked me like what my dream is, what my vision is. I want to free humanity because I believe it's just a conscious shift that's within all of us already. You know what I mean? I believe that we're in this new golden age that was prophesied by many ancient cultures over thousands and thousands of years ago, from the Sumerians to the Egyptians. And they talked about this golden era where consciousness just shifts and the people become like enlightened. I believe the time is now, and I believe it's our job to enlighten the people. I think it's our job and our responsibility to tell the truth, because they're not going to get the truth on the television. You know what I mean? There's 5 networks that own every TV station. So when we're hearing all this propaganda about having to go to war, or how, there's this fake terrorist attack, a lot of times there's a hidden agenda behind it, and most people do not know what's going on at all. You know what I mean? But I look at the bigger picture. The people who are the wealthy people, they understand how the unconscious works. They also understand that if you play fear-based stuff, like talking about going to war and doing all this negative stuff and how the economy is about to collapse, it puts people in a fear-based consciousness, and they become easier to control and easier to manipulate ultimately, so they can continue to do these, terrible things. So I just think it's our duty as human beings, spiritual beings having a human experience, to just share our light and our truth the way we see it, because not enough people are doing that. So I feel ultimately what we are is freedom fighters. You know what I mean? We're basically using the internet, which is elevated consciousness, and brought it to a whole new level where people can find out the truth about anything. And I see light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of people, especially spirituality people, they look at things sometimes and they get caught up in a fear state of consciousness of like, what if this, like, what if that. I just like to focus on the way I want to see things, because I realize by focusing on it, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And I like sharing my ideas with amazing groups of people like this, amazing hangout that we're on right now, because this is all about the mastermind, which ties it back to Think and Grow Rich and creating prosperity consciousness. You need to mastermind with other people, because oftentimes, like what I personally like to do, surround myself around people who are greater than me, who can achieve greater things in different areas of life, and leveraging off of their skills and talents and resources, and coming together as a collective to serve more people, just like the community that we're a part of, which, if you haven't noticed, there's like a button below this video. You can just make a decision and become a part of that community and be a beacon of light. You know what I mean? Be a beacon of change and help spread this message with us, because we need more messengers. But what if we can teach you how to do what you know you're already destined here to do, which is achieve and live out your dreams and serve other people? What if we can show you how to make more money than you've ever made in your entire life while you're doing what you're passionate about? That, my friend, is the big picture behind what it is that we do. And I don't want to take all the limelight here, so feel free to chime in.
No, Justin, I love it. I love when you just go on like kind of this, it's like you're just channeling your higher self, and it's really beautiful. So I so appreciate just, and there's also like the energy that you're coming from. It's more than just the words. So I'm getting like kind of like goosebumps and tingles and stuff. So I'm very grateful. And I'm just like, what are the most powerful questions I can ask you right now? Because I've got like so many different things swirling. And, one thing that I did, I mean, this is kind of going deep, but, as you were talking about, okay, there's sort of like, unless you're focused on the spiritual and then we have the material, I know we have a lot of people here that, are like, hey, I don't need convincing. I know money's an issue for me. I want to heal this. I want to live out my passion. And just what you said, I feel like that is healing the world on a huge collective level. Like if we have people achieving their dreams, getting paid to be who they are in their authenticity, in their true gift, aligned with their higher self, like that's what's going to elevate our consciousness. Honestly, for me, I believe not like it's better or more, but for lack of a better word, like maybe even on a more massive scale than, for example, for me, if I chose to just meditate on a cushion somewhere, in India or in Thailand, like I've actually gone through that kind of a phase where it was like my total focus was spirituality. I refused, I was like, I don't need money ever, and there's a reason why I chose otherwise. But I did just want to ask you, I know that we don't have, too much time here. We could go on about this for a long time, but I could see where, like, maybe some people watching this, when they hear about, the monks, that state of enlightenment they're in, and that they don't want attachments from anything, I actually really, was reminded of how much spiritual people associate having money with creating more attachment. So they have this conflictual reality inside, like, well, I do want to create money, but then, like, isn't that just going to make me, like, more attached to this reality and the matrix and, like, entangle me further? So what would you say to, spiritual people like that who, like, strongly desire, being in this higher vibrational state, being conscious, and yet there's that little bit of, like, resistance, conflictual reality that's like, but I don't know, because is that going to actually just, like, suck me into, like, all the like dense stuff of this reality in the matrix?
That is a great question. I think personally, for me, and I think for a lot of people can relate to this, you need some sort of harmonious balance between everything. Like, for example, if when I was building my business, just getting started, and if I was just meditating, 20 hours a day or whatever, because at points I was like meditating during my sleep, and I remember it was just like a meditation, which was like a charged sleep, and like 3 hours of meditation sleep was like 8 hours of sleep, and I would consume myself in spiritual activity, but then my finances and my business would always be lacking when I am all focused on that. Then at the same token, if I am all focused on my business and I'm not taking the time to do my yoga, I'm not taking the time to do my stretching, I'm going to start to feel stiff, I'm going to start to feel out of balance, and I'm going to start to feel not good. Ultimately, the key is feeling good about what you're doing. So for me, I have to keep my discipline. You mentioned earlier, like, your rituals, success rituals. And for me, I have to do like my Qigong and yoga like at least every other day. I don't get to it every day because I am a very serious freedompreneur and I focus a lot on my business. I work a lot harder than a lot of other people, but ultimately, if I don't do it every other day, I will feel bad. My body will start to feel it and I don't feel good, and I won't be as productive just as a human being in life, as a father, as a husband, if I don't have, a balance of my spirituality practices. So it's going to be different for everybody, but I think you need to figure out what keeps you balanced in your life. And what Qigong is, it's the art of cultivating vital energy. So it's just a form of meditation. And I've been doing Qigong ever since I studied Kung Fu back when I was 16, one of the things I've been most consistent with in my life. And it's just basic breathing exercises, like doing Qi ball exercises, and basically getting in alignment your breathing with your movements and going very, very slow and creating more of this energetic field we call Qi, or vital energy. And for me, I love doing that because it makes me feel good. It raises your vibration and consciousness, and I realize when you can raise your vibration, you're in a higher communication with, I refer to infinite intelligence or to the universe. I feel like I can download more. If I don't do my yoga like I'm supposed to and don't do my Qigong, I wouldn't be able to flow on this hangout right now as good as I could when my mind is clear and I'm acting as a channel, and I'm just focusing my feeling and my energy, and then it's just, it's kind of like a magical way to communicate with the universe, and I really don't never need to know anything. I realize the more I let go inside of here, and the more I don't hold on to thoughts, I'm just a channel, and I'm just downloading this information, which I'm probably not even thinking of. It's probably thought by 1,000 other people at the same time, and I'm channeling it from their frequency, like it's like a radio station. You got these frequencies on the dial, and you got like 95.7, then 95.9, and you raise that vibration or frequency, and then you're communicating with a higher realm of consciousness. And the answer, you start asking the universe to show you the answers. You start asking for omens and signs, and then all around you, you look, and you're just like, wow, 1111. You start to see these magical numbers, like the number 7 yesterday was tremendous for my wife and I. We generated results not typical, but like over $9,000 from a $7 funnel. You know what I mean? So there's something magical with numbers sometimes. I can't even explain it. We got like 98 sales in 11 hours. And I made this video showing all these notifications and commissions, but I feel like it's all coming because everything is in perfect flow right now. Being here, the way that you asked me to be on this hangout, and the way I showed up, I feel like that was meant to happen. It just worked out. You had like the perfect subject, and just everything manifested the way it's supposed to. So when you're in flow, magic always happens. You don't have to look for a miracle. You realize you are the miracle. You know what I mean?
Yes. Amen to that. I love it. I just want to make sure. Somebody here said that we might be freezing and skipping. I'm wondering if it's just this one person. And if anybody else is having that experience, let us know.
Well, sometimes that happens when the energy gets really high.
It does, yeah.
We've had all sorts of weird stuff happen where like entire teleconferences, crashed or froze up, or like the agents from the Matrix tried to get in and infiltrate the system so that we couldn't start the Hangout. You know, like last week we had a little bit of a hitch. You know, I never had a Google Hangout start where it froze at 99% loaded, and it like just wouldn't go. And I was like, shit, Nikki, the agents, they're here. We need to shut it down and get on another line. So we opened it back up, and even though we were 6 or 7 minutes late, people still waited because it was their breakthrough, and they showed up because, like you said, it was like the divine timing.
Yep.
You know, Providence arrived, and they were in the right place, and people were just getting their shit rocked last week in the best way possible. And and that's part of what, you know, how the magic flowed for this too. And you know, when Nikki downloaded the idea for this Hangout, we were sitting there at breakfast, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, I've got it. I know what we're going to talk about this week. We should do the first one." Then she's like, "We should totally invite Justin." And then I forget how it all came, and like when we invited you, and I don't know, I just don't remember. And it was just like it was all perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's another way of channeling and receiving abundance and that prosperity consciousness, I think. And I just want to piggyback off of what you said. Like what I'm really getting from all that you've been saying, like you are the miracle. You know, it's like if you're willing to become like conscious with money and use it as a vehicle for change, for changing the world, for creating more well-being in your life, for creating balance and harmony, then I think you actually start to change like the very essence of money. Because money is energy, so energy cannot be changed, or I'm sorry, energy cannot be killed, but it can be, or destroyed, but it can be transformed. So it's like you start to change, you know, it's like people have all this baggage around it, like, well, there's this history, and there are these conspiracy theories, and especially spiritual people, you know, we've gone online into down the rabbit hole of that, you know, and researched all that stuff, and it's like, you know, but if you're willing to be like what you're talking about, Justin, and how we're being with money, I think that we start to change the essence, the energy of money for the future. Like it can actually become almost like a different entity or different entities, and it starts to vibrate at a higher level. And then that, you know, when you're willing to say thank you and let money go out with that energy, the person who gets that money and that dollar bill, whether it's physically or electronically, they get that energy, and that can keep spreading and spreading and spreading. So I just wanted to add that from what you said, like that's what came to me. And then, you know, I did want to ask you too, is what would you say to somebody who struggle? Because I think that there is the energetic piece to having this, you know, harmonious relationship with money, and then there's the action piece. So we're talking about the action piece being like, click the button below, surround yourself with people who are, you know, vibrating at a higher frequency, doing more with money, actualizing their dreams. So that's one piece. And then going back to the energetic piece, like I get a lot, I mean, I do actually get like, I don't want to say a lot, but I do get more often than I would like. I get these emails where people are like, I'm struggling, I'm having all these things happen to me, I had this accident or I had this trauma happen in my life, and I have done every law of attraction class out there. Like they're kind of like, I've done it all. I've done all the workshops. So what would you say to people who are like, I've kind of done it all, seen it all as far as
I think they mean well, but they totally don't get it, or they wouldn't be broadcasting publicly, just even to you in your inbox on Facebook about their problems, realizing they're confirming they have problems, meaning they don't get law of attraction in the first place. I would never like talk about my problems with another human being because I would never accept a thought that I have a problem in the first place. You're creating your own problem. It's all belief level. If you were to like pinpoint what the main problem is, your unconscious has taught you unconsciously to basically to sabotage like everything in your life. You need to just focus on what is possible. You got to stop giving yourself limits and doubts on what you can't do and start focusing on what I can do, what I want to create. If you got it, you'd be sending us an email saying, this is my vision, and I'm going to do anything by any means necessary of love and light to attain this vision. Show me how I could do it. You know what I mean? that would be somebody who understands the law of attraction, whereas anybody telling you their problems is just creating more problems by sharing them with you. I'm just being truthful. And as a leader, just to be real, because we are a leadership factory, we're vested in building up leadership. You know, people that to do incredible things need to hear these things, right? Because we don't get, you know what I mean? So, like, for example, the last thing I want to read is somebody's problems for 5 pages long, because it's going to put me in a negative state, even if I was feeling good before reading it, because I'm attached to feeling. Feeling is my true language of the universe that we all learn before any words start coming out of our mouths. You know what I mean? So just be cautious, be thoughtful of what you say, and be thoughtful of what you do, because you're creating your own reality. It's just that this is a metaphor my mentor uses. Pigs don't know, pigs stink. And I'm using it metaphorically, not in a derogatory way of any nature, but we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes it takes somebody from an outside perspective who gets it to see why it is, you know, that somebody is failing. I just see it over and over again. So don't beat yourself up and don't accept defeat mentally or emotionally, and never broadcast that energy out because you're creating more of it. Does that all making sense?
Yeah.
Totally making sense.
Well, when you said the thing about like, you know, sort of like ditching your limits and like taking the cap off of what you think is possible, I know that when we were at a place that was, you know, not optimal for where we wanted to be, you know, I would just take a look out there at people that I thought were doing really, really cool things, and just finding out things that we had in common, and like realizing really how much, like, look, that person's just a person, you know, that person's just a person. Like, we both put our pants on the same way in the morning. You know, I think that's a fun thing that people say all the time, that it really is true. You know, for me, what it took to...
We all poop on a toilet.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, you know. And, man, now that you just start talking about poop, my mind went all these million different directions. Oh, boy. Anyway, yes, so I just, you know, for me, what I... God. Okay. So what I was doing is I would always just it's gonna turn into like that thing the other day at Next Level Mastermind. We were at this workshop like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago with like Chris Rushlow and friends, Team Be the Change, woo woo, and there was just a part with me and Jordan, and we could not just stop laughing for like 15 minutes straight, and it was pretty obnoxious at a certain point.
They had to be removed from the panel.
We had to leave the room, you know. And but anyway, yeah. So back to that thing. It's like I just focused on people that were doing well, that were doing better than I was, and where I wanted to go. And I was like, man, you know what? Like, if they can do this, like, I can do this. Like, everybody truly does start from the same point, you know. And when it comes to like people's reasons or justifications for being where they are, you know, I think a lot of times you get those messages in your inbox, or you get somebody that comes to you and they tell you about like their problems or their issues or what's going on in their life. But most people forget to recognize the part, and this is where you should be like listening and paying attention if things aren't going the way that you want them to go right now. Every single choice that you've made up until this point got you to the place where now you feel like you're the effect of something. So it's like I had somebody text me earlier today who's a friend of mine from high school, you know, love him to death, and you know, he's in an interesting situation with his family where he's got to like take care of his grandmother. You know, if things come up and she's got to go to the hospital to get you know, fixed up with, because she's got cancer right now, he's got to be the one that goes and takes her and drops her off and picks her up and stuff. You know, and he's like, he wanted to come to this event that we're doing tonight, and he was like, I really want to come, but like all this stuff is going on, you know, and the key thing that he said was, it's not my fault. And it's like, yeah, it's not your fault that you're taking care of your grandma and you're taking her to the hospital, and look, taking care of family is important, right? And at the same time, you know, what are the reasons that you're the only person there that can take care of your grandmother? Because
you created it that way. You created it
that way. You know, now you're living there with her at her house. You know, what if, you know, you had a thriving business, you know, or a network of people that could support you? what if you were able to hire the best help for your grandma that could actually take care of her in the situation so you could go do the things that you say that you really, really want to do? Like come to this event that we're doing later where you know that you get the chance to break free, right? So it's like, yeah, it's not your fault, but like Nikki said, you put yourself in the situation you're in now, what are you going to do about it?
And I think the sooner that you're willing to be real with yourself about that, while doing your best to not judge it, the faster you're going to get out. Because I think that's where a lot of people go, they're in this polarity between it's not my fault and I'm a victim, or it's totally my fault and I'm still a victim, you know, and they become paralyzed because they're like, I'm so horrible for allowing this to happen. So you have to like get out of both, and your circumstances are either going to be the excuse of why you can't have what you want, or the catalyst of why you're going to go after everything you want. You know, and it's either one of those two things. And it's like, you know, I'm not going to go into my whole story, but it's like when people write me and they're like, I've been suicidal, I've been depressed, I've been abused, I'm like, yeah, check. I've been through all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think if you're willing to, you know, it's like, yeah, we all go through stuff, but I'm just gonna have to be blunt. It's like, you know, the more you think that like your situation is like worse than somebody else's, the longer you're gonna be stuck in that struggle and that kind of blame or shame, blaming somebody else or shaming yourself, you know. So it's like, what if your circumstances were also divinely orchestrated by whether you want to believe in God or universe, your higher self, and they're there to actually catalyze you. But you have to be the one to actually make that conscious shift in your mind and say, you know what, that's how I'm going to see it. Because it's like it's amazing how the same people that believe in this like law of attraction stuff still have this mindset going on. It's like, but it's not my fault and it happened. And it's like, nothing changed in my life until I was willing to say, I chose on some level, on a deep soul level, like I chose everything that has been created in my life. I created it on some level.
Including your family.
Including my family. Yeah,
where
exactly.
you grew up. And,
yeah. Like, and all of that, and the more I saw it as a potential catalyst, the more I saw it as a blessing, and now it's like a story that I can tell that actually serves, instead of like sucking people into like some vortex of, you know, this lower vibrational reality. So it's like even the struggles you've been through can become something that, you know, catalyzes other people later on. It's like, how cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, how many people here? We got a little bit woo. We got a little bit weird on you there for a second.
Yeah.
You know, which is just how we do it. You know, that's like our secret. You know, millionaire strategy is we just, you know, we keep it real with what we believe in and what we know are like really like the laws of the universe. You know, accept them or not, they're gonna govern your life. Whether you know, it's like almost like you just gotta surrender at some point and just give up the struggle and really have it. You know, really have it all and just be willing to just take life. So who feels like you're here like in the right place? You found like this is like your tribe, like these are your people, like are you picking up what we're throwing down? Like let us know. Like we appreciate, you know, you guys for being here and just taking part in this conversation, because they're really like conversations that most people are not willing to have, and there's a certain level of courage that's required for you to really show up for something like this and hang out and take time out of your day, out of your life, for yourself to be here because you knew that it was the right place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have maybe a couple of questions that I want to make sure I ask you, Justin, before we round out here. So let's see. I wanted to ask you, you know, like what is one, like how would you say, because I'm sort of like jumping around between these two questions. You know, I'm just going to go to like your ritual. So you mentioned that you do Qigong. Like what are some other ways that people can align themselves energetically with, you know, being able to take their financial reality to the next level? Like they wake up in the morning, how do they take their financial reality to the next level?
Dee was just whispering to me, breathing. I just blew up her spot. Breathing. I think breathing is a big part of it, as crazy as it sounds. Qigong is a form of breathing. Yoga is a form of breathing. Meditation is a form of breathing. yes, if you can learn, like, if you can, by repetition, focus on your breathing, breathing fully, like the correct way, and what the Chinese call the lower abdomen, or the dantian, which is the lower abdomen, you just, like, you're getting the most oxygen in your cells, and basically you're like an antenna, and you're just increasing your frequency, the best way I can describe that. And any form of teaching yourself to breathe correctly, and it may just be going for a walk and, like, taking time to breathe and let go of all the chaoticness inside your mind. I don't know. You could be washing the dishes and you could be meditating at the same time, but for me, I do yoga and I do qigong. Yoga because I'm into stretching, like I can do the splits and, you know, do really cool flexible things. And if I don't stretch regularly, I don't feel good. So it's like a combination. You're meditating and stretching at the same time. So for me, like, yoga is like the bomb. I usually just do like my qigong before my yoga. It, like, just like increases the energy and the flow and gets me in the rhythm faster and makes me more flexible, because qigong is also for stretching your body as well. So those are like my two spiritual practices I do, but I just try to be mindful of breathing throughout the day, and I'll notice myself breathing unconsciously, like meditation, without thinking about it. And I think if we can train ourselves to do that, and meditation and qigong and yoga and all these sorts of arts will all lead to that if you actually do it consistently as a ritual. I believe if you meditate every day for like a year, you will be a completely different person 1 year from now than who you are now. I think just being consistent and persistent with your core rituals, and for me it's simple. I don't learn new qigong techniques every day. I've been doing the same set called 8-section brocade that I learned when I was 16 in Kung Fu. And even though my teacher's not here watching and critiquing me, I just do it every day. I do the same thing like all the time. And I believe I get my enlightenment and I see the light through the simplicity of doing the simple things you know you're supposed to do on a regular basis. And the same thing with building a business. There's just these core set of principles of things that we need to do. And if people actually do them persistently and energetically, you know, using a positive vibration like we're sharing with you tonight, and not attaching fear to anything, you know, and being in the love light space, you can do incredible things. I think that's the biggest thing for me, just taking the time to breathe, not getting caught up, and letting go of all the mental chatter, which anyone can do by focusing on their breathing or visualizing a shape or symbol, you know, and, you know, what we're a part of, you know, when you earn $1 million, you get this $1 million earner's ring. So something I would use a lot as a symbol to represent my success before I had that level of success, I would visualize the symbol and what the symbol means to me. And for me, it was freedom. For me, it was having a child on my own terms. You know, my wife gave birth to Kuan Yin in a holistic birth center. No medication, not even any Advil, 100% natural. We were shooting for a water birth, but she had to change her position. She ended up giving birth on the birthing stool, but no vaccinations, because we have the freedom to not have to take them to a hospital, because we have the, you know, the resources to be able to afford how we feel our child should come into this world. And I think that's a big deal, how you bring your child into this world. So to be able to create this freedom meant everything. That's why I was so persistent on achieving my dream. It wasn't money. In reality, money don't exist. It's a, you know, I was going to drop an F-bomb. I watch myself. I don't mean to. But it's a freaking illusion. Money is an illusion. I don't have any feelings to money. I rarely touch money because I don't like using it. I use debit cards and such. You know, I'm not like looking at money all day or smelling money. It's not in my life. I think about money less than most people, but I'm focusing on how can I build a better business because we're serving more people, if that can make sense. And I think because I am so aligned with what my intentions are, it's easy, in my opinion, for me to attract what I was destined to create in this lifetime, because I understand some of these basic principles which, you know, you're so kind to openly share in your Hangouts.
I love it, Justin. So powerful. I just love it. Well, I want to ask you then, you know, with this Empower Network system that we're using and this community that we're building, You know, because we're talking about a lot of the energetic pieces, the action step of surrounding yourself with people who are, you know, going where you want to go and doing the things that you want to be doing, and the importance of that vibrationally. And I'm also looking at, like, you know, if you're doing all the meditation stuff, like you mentioned before, if you're just focused on that, and you're sitting on your couch just visualizing money to come to you, but you're not creating like a bridge, like a physical bridge or a technological bridge or an electronic bridge for money to come to you, it's not going to come to you. So, you know, I would love for your take on, you know, how channeling all of this vibration and channeling, you know, this energy into the action of creating this business with Empower Network as a vehicle, which we're all a part of right now, all of us here, and you can join us today by clicking that button. You know, how do you see that, like, just Empower as a business, you know, as this vehicle for transformation? Like you're saying, hey, we're impacting people's lives. Like, how do you see, like, this specific model actually doing that for people?
Great question. An offer is a big deal. There's different components that you need to have in place in order to be successful. And I'll try to paint a metaphor because we tend to remember them. Think of a pyramid, like in Egypt. The Giza pyramid, the Great Pyramid, the pyramid of all pyramids. You know what I mean? I want you to think about that pyramid, and then one of the three pillars of the pyramid, I'll just use pillar so I can separate the 3 points. One of those is an offer. One of them is system, and one of them is traffic. If you can master these 3 elements, you can build a business that you can imagine in your mind as big as you want it. I mean, when I got started like 2.5 years ago, my goal was to earn $5,000 a month. I didn't know I'd have like $100,000 months and like be $1 million earner. And again, results not typical, but it did happen and it did manifest and put me back on track. What was the point I was about to make before I just talked about money and I got sidetracked?
And pyramids and stuff. Yeah.
Pyramid. Yes. So back to the offer. The offer is super, super important because, number one, if you don't have a high converting offer, meaning it's not a product that can serve the masses, then it's going to be very hard to difficult that. The reason I love our vehicle, because we can help anyone achieve their dreams regardless what their dream is. So it's an offer that everybody needs. Even though not everyone's looking for it, we're only looking to attract those who are already looking for it. The other part of the offer, it has to pay a good commission out. For example, I can promote anything. You can promote anything. But if we're promoting something and getting like a 20% commission, which is pretty typical in the industry, or if I'm an affiliate marketer getting like as high as a 40 or 50% commission, I'm not truly getting paid what I feel I am worth, because in order to fuel my dreams, I need to make the maximum amount of money to serve the greatest amount of people. So that's something I'm always thinking about. So, for example, with Empower Network, a lot of the products pay nearly 100% commission. I dig that, because if I'm going to teach people to promote something, I want our team to get rich. I don't want, our team to be poor and struggle and pass up the majority of the commissions to, the creator of the product. I just like leveraging off of the best educational products in the industry, being able to sell them because they convert really high. They're providing massive value to the marketplace. And one more thing about finding a good offer, if you can find an offer that pays a residual income, you can do the work one time and continue to get paid over and over and over again. And part of the reason, my wife and I have all this amazing success is not because we are so great, it's because we built a thriving, amazing tribe just following really the education inside of these products. And we've been able to do that and attain massive levels of success. The more you help your team members succeed, the more it comes back with you. That's why I love this model we call Empower Network, I call a freedom movement, because it's empowering you to live your dreams. It's going to teach you how to live abundantly, have the highest converting offer, have the best system, be a part of the best community, and we're going to teach you how to get traffic. Because I don't care if you're Apple computers or you're a Ferrari car dealer, you have to figure out a way to get customers into your store. And we have perfected that. That's what our education is about. It's personal development and marketing educational products, I believe it's the best in the industry because the teachers teaching you are achieving massive results now. It wasn't like 10 years ago they did great and now they want to dump this information that's no longer effective like a lot of people do in the marketplace, but it's the real deal. This stuff will work if you treat it serious. Treat your business like $1 million business. Treat your home, which is your body, like $1 million body. You know, stop putting MSGs and GMOs in your body. Start thinking with health consciousness, realizing that your health is connected to feeling good, and feeling good is connected with, you know, creating positive energy in your business, and that like everything just comes full circle. So respect life, you know what I mean? Appreciate life. Show gratitude for the universe. Show gratitude to higher levels of power and consciousness we can't comprehend. Show appreciation for Nikki and Avram for putting together, you know, this amazing hangout where they're here to serve people every single week. You know what I mean?
I love how you did like a little, like almost like a shimmy after that, like you heard. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and you know, when you were speaking to that, like having the offer, it's like, you know, Abram and I, we struggled with our coaching practice and consulting, like having like that consistent clientele, and it's like, I just know so many people with amazing gifts and they don't know how to market themselves, you know, and they don't know how to sell, and I don't care how spiritual you are, and if you want to have a business, like sharing your gift with the world, you need this education. Like I haven't found it anywhere else. You know, there's no other place where I could find this kind of like business in a box, and I was actually like able to earn while I was learning, you know, and it's like now I don't even have to, you know, really like go after clients, like they just kind of come after me, and I get these messages in my inbox like, I would love to, you know, get some coaching from you, and I can charge what I really feel that I'm worth and what I provide. What I feel, you know, I deserve for the work that I'm providing. It's not like this issue like it used to be. So I know we've got some people like that here, so I just wanted to throw that in there. Like, you know, this is something that, like you're saying, you could be a car dealer or like brick and mortar business, or you're like providing a service or coaching people. It's like you're going to be able to learn how to monetize that, as well as just, you know, resell the products and earn that almost 100% commission, you know what I mean? 100% on some of the products, depending on what products you're selling. So, you know, another thing that you can do is if you are one of those people that's like, I would like to ask some questions, you can actually view the FAQ below the click here to get started now button. So it says view our FAQ here. And, you know, we're going to a live event today. We're actually launching kind of this local thing in Denver, in the Denver area here. So we're going to be heading out. But you are welcome to actually, I don't do this all the time, but I just am getting the intuition to. You can even message me on Facebook. Like if there's like, hey, Nikki, I just want to like touch base with you. I just want to ask you this one thing. I've gone through the FAQ. You can actually message me, and I will respond to you in the next 24 hours. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, or you just click the button below and just get started, lock arms with us, and come hang out with us at the next event. We'll be coming down your way, Justin, there in Orlando. I know you guys are just a couple hours away, but in October, and I know we saw you at Universal Studios last year right after the event. You know, I was still hobbling around a little bit after my hernia surgery last year, which, again, you know, is like one of those alternative sort of surgeries that we were able to do for me and my body because of the fact that, you know, we earn a substantial income on the internet from this vehicle, from just being us. Because otherwise it was going to be mesh. They're going to put mesh in my abdomen that my body could possibly reject, and I have to go get surgery again. And that, for us, that was not something that we even wanted to entertain.
No, we are not doing that. And we found the one specialist in the country whose mission is to educate other doctors and to like, he's like, nope, this is like really bad for people. I'm doing it this totally different way. So like we flew out to Las Vegas to have this surgery, and it's like that wouldn't have been possible before.
Exactly. So this time when we go to Universal, I won't miss out on the Hulk, right? I mean, was that like a sick roller coaster or what? I watched all you guys go up, and I was like,
it was crazy. I think we even snuck a GoPro on it. We got some footage. Dan was taken, but I remember getting off the Hulk, and I was like lightheaded. And I'm a Jedi. I'm used to flying and doing crazy stuff, but like it's pretty serious. But I'm looking forward to go. I know we're definitely going to go to Universal again. It's kind of like if we're in Orlando, you got to do something really cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Well,
Awesome.
we're stoked. We appreciate you coming out and sharing with everybody and just bringing your love and light goodness. And
I think this is like the first hangout where we actually didn't go like way over. Like I'm proud of us for actually being efficient. You know, like that's kind of. I think it's absorbing that 7-figure energy from you, Justin. It's like next level. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. So thanks for coming out, man. Any last words before people just get in and go along their merry day and start living a life of freedom?
Just a reminder that you are here for a special reason right now. I don't believe in coincidence. You know, after my life and all these things, the near-death experience, all this crazy, all these shenanigans going on, but everything is perfect and everything is beautiful the way it is. So what I would do if I was you and you're not already a part of our freedom movement, hit the link below and be on the lookout for a welcome email from whoever invited you here. And we're going to walk you through exactly how to go about getting money online the smart way, using attraction marketing and only working with people looking for what it is that you have to offer and never having to talk to somebody that is not interested in what you have to offer. That's attraction marketing, my friends. I appreciate you, Nikki and Abram, for having me out. Looking forward to coming back again sometime. And thank you all just for being you. I think you two are just beautiful human beings. I should say spiritual beings, but you're also beautiful people in this physical body as well. So I just really appreciate you and looking forward to really connecting with you in Orlando.
Sounds
awesome,
great.
Justin. And thank you to Dee and thank you to Kuan Yin for bringing the beautiful feminine goddess energy.
Yep. Coolness. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Justin.
Bye.
Love and light.